All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've made this video like 4 times and it's starting to get on my nerves. I've been ganked by Horde, I've been killed from DCs, I've had random allies help me while I'm trying to tell you people things. It is what it is and life sucks. All right, so it dawns on me that after making my TLDR video, some of you guys are really still into the two-handed paladin stuff. So you're either doing option 1 or you're doing option 2. Well, if you're doing option 1 or option 2, we need to have a nice long conversation plus demonstration about how not to die as a two-handed paladin, because you vary in your performance so wildly that it's the variations in your performance that are actually going to kill you as a two-headed paladin, basically. All right, so what am I trying to say here exactly? Well, what kills you as a two-headed paladin is actually very predictable. Usually what's happening is you're running away from mobs, right? You're running away in a straight line. You might have 3 mobs on you and you're running away, but as you're running away, you keep aggroing more and more mobs. So eventually you just have like one to 2 mobs on you at all times, and it becomes very obvious to you that what you really should do is stop and try to fight this one mob to the death. Right? You follow me on this? Try to fight this one mob to the death. Well, you probably noticed by now as a two-handed paladin that every once in a blue moon, you really struggle to fight one mob to the death, and it becomes, even at full life and full mana, it's a legitimate struggle to kill one mob to the death, because that's just how the variance works with your stupid 3-point speed, 3.8 speed weapon. Which is why I advise using slightly faster two-handed weapons, but whatever. So what does this mean? Well, the odds on that are actually about 1 in 20. About 1 in 20 times, you're going to get so many misses, so many dodges, so many parries, that you're really going to struggle to win the 1v1. And if you're trying to do that 1v1 while you're half life and half mana, or no mana and full life, RNG can come for that ass, and then you just die. That's how two-handed paladins die. One-handed intellect paladin doesn't have this problem at all. They are a super tank little chads that absolutely they laugh at these circumstances. Where this scenario becomes super deadly, however, is when you're in a cave, and the best you can do in a cave isn't a 1v1. You're lucky to get a 1v1 in a cave. The best you can do in the cave is a 2v1, right? So we're about to showcase exactly what you're supposed to do. Now, full disclosure, I'm just going to scroll through the gear here real fast so you can see I'm not chatted out or anything. I'm just your typical stamina intellect paladin. And major recombobulator array, highly advised. Goblin mortar, highly advised. Shield, sword, and board. So what you're going to do when you find yourself in trouble as a two-handed paladin is you're going to want to get into a knightly longsword. You're going to want to have a knightly longsword. Even if you're level 60, have a damn knightly longsword. It's just the fastest one-handed weapon we can possibly have, and get easy and get cheap. Then you're going to want to have a shield, but you need a shield anyway for taking in dungeons, so hopefully you have a sword and board. So if you get yourself in trouble as a paladin, and you are forced, a two-handed paladin, you're forced to fight to the death, let's see what that looks like. You're actually going to want to use Seal of Light and Judgment of Light, and then just chill. Okay, so we got 2 mobs on us. We're going to Judge Light. We're going to Seal of Light. We're going to try to back away from this stuff, but for the most part, we're just chilling. Right? We're just chilling. And the reason for this is because you lose so little life under these circumstances because of all the healing you're doing. Right now, I'm actually generating something stupid like 18 HPS. I'm going to hit this spider for a second just to keep him in combat. Oh, really? I'm going to hit this spider for a second just to keep... Thank you. Okay, so it's already been 30 seconds, but this buys you so much time to do everything that you might want to do. So, for example, your bubble and your bop are on cooldown. Your mana potions are healing back up here. A major recombobulator array, if it's on cooldown. Your bandages are starting to become available. Like all that stuff, like blah, 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 blah. Once you kill the first target, which is about to happen here in a second, you become literally unkillable in the 1v1. You're literally, it's impossible for a 1v1 mob to kill you practically, unless they're like some giga super chat. So you can see I'm not even going to touch it, and I'm probably going to win this fight. I probably won't even have to heal. I might have to reseal light again. You haven't seen me cast use any defensive cooldown whatsoever. We're just chilling here, right? Why? 18 HPS. And this is just rank 1 Seal of Light. This isn't even a fresh. I get my fresh rank at like level 40. I'm like level 35. All right, cool. Let's ask ourselves, has a minute passed yet? Has some time passed? Is it enough time that we can actually grenade this guy and get a heal in? Do I think that's what? Did he resist it? Whatever, I guess it doesn't matter. Um, do I have Hodge? Do I have enough mana to Hodge and heal? Can I grenade and heal? Was Bubble available at that point? How long did that take exactly? You get the point. But you're basically unkillable in the 1v1 and the 2v1. You can survive pretty easily. If you try to go two-hander against these mobs, you will be leaving the scenario up to RNGesus. And RNGesus can come for that ass. And it might be a little bit too late before you realize that RNGesus is actually going to be a thing here. What's the math behind this? Like, what's actually going on here? Well, okay, well, it's actually simple. Okay, we're still recording, thank God. Is that Seal of Light, the actual Seal of Light, not Judgment of Light, has 15 ppm. That means that it procs once every, it's a 100% proc chance for every 4 seconds of swing time. So if you have a 3.8 speed weapon, it's going to have a proc rate of about like 95% every time you swing your weapon. Knightly Longsword, it'll have a 37.5% proc chance, right? Sounds bad. However, the Judgment of Seal of Light is 50% regardless of swing speed. That's why you want to use a super fast weapon, right? So you just get the most HPS if you have the fastest one-handed weapon possible. And of course, the HPS is greatly improved by wearing a shield. If you don't know how armor works in this game, all the armor that you get from every other item, let's say all the armor I got from every item except the shield was X. Shield armor, percentage-wise, is 0.6x. It's 60% bonus to all your armor, to your total armor, once you put on the shield. I made a video recently where I went into excruciating detail how there is no diminishing returns on armor. At level 60, 550 armor is the equivalent of a plus 10% increase to your effective HP, which also increases your effective healing, and yada, 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 okay? So hopefully I'll end the video here, and Deus Vult, boys, but highly suggested that if you're going to do a two-handed Paladin style, at least a third of your gear be stamina intellect gear. That way you just have more mana to play with. It looked like I wasn't regenerating a lot of mana there in that fight, but you have to remember that I have like 130% more mana than a two-handed Paladin would have normally. So when my mana bar was like at a quarter mana, keep in mind that that's the equivalent of a Ret Paladin like having a full mana bar to play with. Anyways, I'll end the video here and try to keep it short, and Deus Vult, boys.